Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. She's an amazing athlete. I grew up watching her. That's how Sha'Carri Richardson describes her childhood hero, Shelley and Fraser Price. Despite their rivalry on the track, Richardson never hesitates to acknowledge her inspiration. It was going to take my best to come forward and be able to compete, knowing that she's been doing this, she said. The respect Richardson holds for her opponent turned inspiration is undeniable. Yet some fans on the internet think otherwise. In a press conference ahead of the Diamond League meet in Brussels on August 22, 2025, Melissa Jefferson Wooden praised Fraser Price for her consistency and for the way she has managed to keep performing at a high level despite all the challenges. Just seeing her dominate the way that she did, it did nothing but motivate me to be at least half of the person or half of the woman that she has been for our sport, and especially in the sprints, Jefferson Wooden further added. And so there have been numerous and plenty of times where I'll just be at home sitting and watching old videos of women in my field competing year after year, and to see Sha'Carri on top for so long, like she said, is very, very inspiring for me, but also it's just like wow in a sense. Just moments before the showdown, Melissa's words certainly touched the hearts of track fans. These words were later shared on social media, where one fan took to his X handle to indirectly accuse Richardson of showing false respect, writing, "If only the other one from her camp had this type of respect for the sport's legends." However, accusing her of mistreating her inspiration is a bit far-fetched, and the fans' words backfired as the track and field community defended Richardson. Instead of taking his side, fans come in support of Sha'Carri Richardson amidst a false attack attempt. Disagreeing with the man, a fan expressed their anger, saying, "Did Sha'Carri not show Shell respect? The selective amnesia y'all have is inane." Sha'Carri stated in front of Shelley that she grew up watching her and respects her. She even called her Miss Shelley. How much more respect do you want her to give, especially as a competitor? It should be noted that Richardson and Fraser Price have faced each other on multiple occasions. However, they've always shared mutual respect for each other. In response to Richardson's remarks, the Jamaican stated, "I think for me, stay true to who I am, perform, and dominate. You still have a mutual respect for each other." Back in the 2023 World Championship, Richardson won the gold medal while Shericka Jackson earned silver and Sha'Carri Fraser Price claimed bronze. Sharing the podium with two Jamaicans, Richardson stated in an interview, "Not even just the Jamaicans. I feel like I've earned the respect for myself," said Richardson. "That's the biggest thing for me. Not just the world, but for Sha'Carri Richardson. I put that respect on me for me," she expressed. Richardson showed nothing but love for the Jamaicans, and a fan believes it certainly reflects in her attitude. Sha'Carri showed nothing but love to the Jamaicans at the World Championships. Furthermore, another social media user reminded the person about Richardson's respect for the Jamaicans. "Wait, Sha'Carri has only ever praised Shelley. Watch the Budapest press conferences." Moreover, another fan expressed, "Stop focusing on the negative and give energy to the positive." Last but not the least, a fan came forward to ask a question. What did she do that was disrespectful? She always speaks of her with admiration and respect. Sha'Carri Richardson might have many problems, as some critics might point out, but not respecting the legends of the sport isn't one of them, as the three of them are set to face each other once again at the Diamond League meet in Brussels. Who do you expect to clinch the victory? How well do you think Richardson will be able to perform at the upcoming World Athletics Championship in Tokyo in her current state of mind? For months, Sha'Carri Richardson has lived under the weight of unfair narratives. Every stumble, every loss, every off-track headline has seemed to spiral into an avalanche of criticism. Some labeled her inconsistent, others painted her as a distraction, and a few questioned if she would ever reclaim the fiery dominance that once made her the face of American sprinting. But as the Diamond League rolls into another electrifying stage, a shift has emerged, one that restores balance to Richardson's story. The track and field community once split on her potential has started to erase the unfair blame that hung over her. A star reframed, Richardson's journey has always been complicated. After her breakout in 2019 and her infamous suspension in 2021, every race she entered carried more than just times on a stopwatch. It carried judgment. Yet heading into this week's Diamond League face-off, athletes, analysts, and fans alike seem ready to rewrite the narrative. This isn't about what she's done wrong, one commentator noted during a pre-race discussion. It's about what she still has the power to do right. Sha'Carri is a generational sprinter that doesn't vanish because of a few setbacks. Support from within. Interestingly, some of the strongest voices rallying behind Richardson are her competitors and former critics. Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah recently hinted in an interview that the scrutiny placed on Richardson has been disproportionate compared to other athletes. We all face injuries, fatigue, or off days, she said. But with Sha'Carri, it's amplified. That's not fair. Even American track officials who once appeared wary of Richardson's outspokenness have started to highlight her resilience rather than her shortcomings. The message is clear. Richardson has earned the right to compete without carrying the baggage of blame that belongs more to circumstance than to her. The Diamond League stage. All of this arrives at a pivotal moment. The Diamond League is not just another meet. It's a stage where reputations are cemented and rivalry sharpened. For Richardson, the face-off promises more than medals. It's a chance to remind the world of the electricity she brings to the track. Fans are already buzzing online, rallying hashtags in support of her comeback. Sha'Carri doesn't owe anyone perfection. One fan wrote, she owes herself the chance to run free. Another added, this is her reset button. Watch her fly, erasing the blame, embracing the race. The shift in tone feels symbolic. For too long, Richardson's story has been weighed down by what she wasn't. Now the narrative is pivoting toward what she is, a competitor capable of rewriting history in real time. As the Diamond League face-off nears, Sha'Carri Richardson no longer runs with the burden of blame strapped to her back. Instead, she runs with a community, finally willing to acknowledge that she deserves not just scrutiny, but support. The stadium pulsed with anticipation, humming like a coiled spring. Every camera lens pointed down lane 4. Every eye watched her. Sha'Carri Richardson stood tall, her fiery orange hair gone now, replaced by braided black streaks laced with gold thread. Her nails still sparkled like they always had, but her eyes had changed. They no longer shouted defiance, they whispered focus. She bent, took her mark, and waited for the gun. Chapter 1, From Flame to Ashes. 2 years earlier, the world watched a different version of Sha'Carri. Wild, bold, unapologetic, and fast. So fast, in fact, that her 100m trial time stamped her as America's next sprint queen. Then came the shock. A failed drug test, the disqualification, the suspension. The media spun it mercilessly. Some fans cried. Others cursed. Critics crucified her. Irresponsible. Immature. Wasted talent. The headlines screamed. But no one talked about the death of her mother. No one lingered on her grief. Or how young she still was, just 21. Carrying the weight of black excellence on her shoulders. while the world demanded perfection and offered little grace. She took the punishment in stride, at least publicly. But behind the curtains, she broke. She disappeared from the headlines for a while. People moved on. The track world kept spinning. But Sha'Carri wasn't done. Chapter 2. Running Through the Fire. What do you do when the world sees you as a cautionary tale? You rewrite the narrative. Sha'Carri returned to the track not with a vengeance, but with a purpose. She traded the distractions for discipline, traded the bravado for balance. Her circle got smaller. Her vision got sharper. She trained in the early mornings, when the air was crisp and judgment-free. She studied her stride, worked her starts, mastered her breathing. She talked less, posted less, but ran more. Then came the 2023 World Championships. Most counted her out. She walked in as an underdog, ranked, but not favored. But when the gun fired, she didn't just run. She flew. 10.65 seconds. World-leading time. Gold medal. World champion. And just like that, she wasn't a what-if anymore. She was the one. Chapter 3. The Blame Game. But redemption stories are rarely allowed to flourish uninterrupted, especially for black women who dare to shine too brightly. Sha'Carri's rise triggered a wave of renewed criticism, not over her performances, but her presence, her confidence, her style, her very being. When an international meet went awry due to a faulty timer error, some media outlets subtly hinted, without evidence, that Sha'Carri's antics or attitude may have played a role in distracting the event. When she declined an interview after placing second at a Diamond League meet, critics pounced. Disrespectful, they said. Unprofessional. But the track community wasn't silent this time. Allison Felix, a legend in her own right, tweeted, "Growth isn't always quiet. Sometimes it's fierce. Sha'Carri is doing the work. Let her be great." Sprinter Noah Lyles went on record. You can't praise athletes for individuality and then punish them when that individuality doesn't look the way you expect. Fans started a hashtag. Hashtag let her run her race. It trended for days. What had once been a solo fight became a collective stand. Chapter 4. More than a medal. Sha'Carri knew she was running for more than gold now. She was running for every young girl who had ever been told they were too much. Too loud. Too bold. Too black. She started speaking at schools and track clubs, sharing her story. Not the polished, PR-filtered version, but the raw one. She talked about grief, pressure, mental health, the temptations that come with fame. And she listened, too, to young athletes on the verge of burnout, to coaches trying to navigate the shifting tides of a sport that demanded both machine-like performance and perfect personality. In 2024, she launched the No Blame, Just Flame Foundation, supporting mental health services for young athletes, especially women of color. "People tried to blame me when I was already on fire," she said at the launch. "Now I use that fire to light the path for others." Chapter 5. The Race That Changed Everything. August 2025. The World Athletics Finals in Tokyo. Sha'Carri lined up once again. Her competitors were fierce. Jamaica's new star Tiana Moore in lane 5. Nigeria's Blessing Abigund in lane 3. The media buzzed with predictions. Could Sha'Carri repeat? Would she falter? She blocked it all out. The starter raised the gun. Bang! Sha'Carri didn't explode off the blocks. Her start was solid, not spectacular. But midway through the race, she shifted gears and surged. The crowd roared as she crossed the finish line. 10.58, a personal best. Another gold. But it wasn't the time that made headlines. It was what happened next. She walked back to the track and hugged every runner. Then, taking a microphone, she addressed the stadium, not with arrogance, but with fire in her voice. "I'm not here to be your perfect hero. I'm not your mistake to fix. I'm here because I refuse to let blame bury me. I'm here because we, every woman, every athlete, every person fighting unseen battles, deserve to be seen for more than our lowest moment." The crowd stood. The applause was thunderous. Even her critics, this time, had to acknowledge what they'd witnessed.